Today we're looking at the SH Figuarts Mecha Gigantron from Ultraman Rising. This released last month, March 2025, and almost has no footage on it. So let's dive right in and maybe we can figure out why this figure hasn't had a review yet. The thing this figure probably does the best is its articulation. It is impressive how much they've packed in here. Just look at the head. She can look all the way up so she can fly. She can get in those low, well, you guys will see here in a little bit, crouched over poses. She can look down. She can look left and right. She can look basically most of the angles you want. It is a little limited because there's only 1, 2, 3 joints, and then technically the head joint here. And then because of the armor plating, they actually are limited a bit. But she looks impressive while moving. She can do most of what you would want her to do. She also has a jaw that opens up very, very wide. So very nice. She's got ball jointed shoulders, obviously, because damaged arm, which have no limits, by the way. Look at that. She's got ball jointed elbows, which by the feel of it, they don't have a twist, so we don't do that. So her arm is kind of the bicep swivel of the top arm, none down here at the bottom, and then the hands are on ball joints. You can see it right in there. Just a ball joint, and then the fingers all are on joints. I would just err on the side of caution and be careful with these, obviously, as always. But you can make her do a fist. You can splay her hands out like she's swiping, giving you a high five. Or if you really want, you can make her do... Yeah, you can make her flip you off. Here is the waist joint, which admittedly doesn't have the most range. She kind of helps her just wobble to side to side. No twist, no real ab crunch. Not really too surprising as she's kind of a mechanical creature. So, you know, she's got really nice hips. They probably could just go all the way around if you wanted them to, but obviously probably don't need them to. Also, twist. She's got pretty limited knees, and one of the things with her knees that's limited is that that's as straight as they go. That admittingly is disappointing slightly, because you can't give her that straight. I mean, even her legs right there are kind of more straight angled. You can't do that with her. This is molded into this bottom piece, her kneecap, and these don't move. These don't adjust. So that is admittingly a little disappointing. But she's also got a really incredible ankle joint to make up for it. Oh my God, she even has detail on the bottom of the feet. I didn't know that. There's even more detail for her thrusters. But she's got enough in the ankles to where you can kind of mimic that. So you can give her kind of a wide stance like that. You can still get her into the poses that you would want her to be in. The wing, not the wings. We're doing the wings last. The tail, very, very articulated. Very nice. You get your swoop, you get your upwards, which, by the way, this piece moves forward. These ones are stationary, but you can, collapse it forward to get that more upswing. It's kind of like -1, where you just got to be watching what you're doing. Just be careful. Don't be posing it like crazy and stuff. But all of these, they go to the side very well as well. The tip of mine is a little loose, as you can see. Kind of just likes to fall, which it makes sense. This piece is heavy. Plus, can always go tighten it ourselves. Now for the wings, they both have the same joint. So they plug in, and then you've got this hinge. And then you've got an additional hinge. Sorry. You have to fold the wings. Well, that kind of just shows the articulation. So you have another hinge right here to fold these up. And then you have these 2 swivel joints. Better than Destroyas and past Heisei Ghidorahs. So you can kind of give her this look. So you can, like I said earlier, or maybe I haven't said it yet, you can fold her up to make her a little bit more shelf friendly. You can actually get her really folded up. So you can do something like that. Very, very impressive. I don't think I'll display mine like this personally, but hey, if you are really looking to need to save space, you can kind of make her more contained and easier to display on your shelves, or if you're also creating a review for her, might be easier to keep her all on the review table or turntable like this. The wings are a little wobbly, so you can see them moving. But man, she's just packed with articulation. Starting off the size comparisons, of course, we're going to be looking at the figure I have from Ultraman Rising, which is Ultraman Rising, and Emmy down at the bottom. I think she fits really, really strongly in scale with him. She could maybe be even a little bit larger, but I think this really encompasses how large she is. Once I get Ultra Dad from Ultraman Rising, we'll do a full family photo. Here's Gigantron next to your Shin Koho Seiho Ultraman 66 and the SH Figuarts Ultraman Belial Darkness Heals version. Here we have three mechanical titans all next to each other. We have the Super Mecha Godzilla from the Mecha Godzilla Rodan and Garuda set, and Earth Garon from SH Figuarts Ultraman Blazer. I told y'all I'd bring out all my largest figures in one frame. Here we have the King of Mons from SH Figuarts and the SH Monsters Decisive Battle version Mecha King Ghidorah. Obviously, they're all taking up a lot of space, but man, do they all look so cool next to. Next, we have the SH Monster Arts Shin Godzilla Awakening version and the SH Figuarts Red King. Starting off the accessories, we have the energy effect piece she comes with. It does have a name. I'm going to be honest, I forgot. Maybe I'll add that in as a text afterward, but this thing's pretty detailed. You can see it's got energy pulse waves on the bar itself, or on the wave, and then it does have this wonderful spiral going along. It does have the awful stand that Earth Garon had, but seeing as Gigantron's taller, it's not quite as big of a deal. Swapping out into the beam piece is pretty easy. Follow your instructions. You have the little kind of tongue here. It slides right out. Your first time it's going to be a little stiff, but that's a-okay. Then you can see there's a plug-in right there in the mouth and a slide. So you take this, you slide it through in the back of the throat, and then it kind of just plugs right in, and boom. There she is, blasting off. I thought I would cut in really quick while I'm taking my photos and just show that the energy effect actually can be held up without the stand. So if you don't want to use that ugly stand, absolutely a-okay to do it. Is her chest missile Iron Man type accessory. This looks really cool. Just out, it kind of looks like a vehicle from Star Wars. It's just a silhouette, but then it's got all that nice little detail in there, and that just looks epic as hell. Switching out the chest missiles is pretty easy. You find an open spot, which right here on mine is this little corner. Pops right out. And then you grab your missile launchers. You just plug them in. And there you go. She can fire off all of her missiles in her chest. Really, really cool, and it looks nice. The first of the damage pieces is the left shoulder. It's right here, so it plugs in. That's where the shoulder piece is. That's where the elbow plugs in. It looks pretty good. I do believe the skin tone isn't completely movie accurate, but it does match with the damaged eye piece, or the revealed eye. Kind of like, you know, a Godzilla 74 situation. It looks good still. At least it's consistent, even if it might not be the most movie accurate. Switching out the shoulder should hopefully be easy here. I haven't done it yet. This is my first time. Oh, that was scary. Maybe do that without the wings attached. We're gonna just fold those back out. So it pops out pretty easy. And then you take it at the top of the elbow and just... Okay, so with a little struggle off camera, pops off. I would probably maybe recommend heating it up your first time. That was pretty tough. I'm not gonna put the damaged arm on all the way, just to be safe. But this is what, in theory, it would look like with the damaged shoulder. Attaching the new eyepiece should also be pretty easy. I just grab it out of the head, pull it, shimmy it loose, and it should just come, in theory, right off. Oh, there we go. Kind of got a lift from the bottom. Just be careful of the joints in the jaw and everything else, and your fingers. This thing's pretty sharp in every place, and then you just place the head on. You gotta give it a nice, you gotta angle it right, and then it pops right on. And there she is with her damaged eyepiece. Looks very, very cool, very, very sad. The final accessory here is for Ultraman Rising himself. It's the Ultra Slash Ultra Cut, and this one's kind of got angles. It's more like an octagon shape, and that's really, really cool. It's a little unique, and it looks awesome. I love it when we can get this accessory included with our figures. And look at that, even the swirl, the shuriken. Oh, dude, this is awesome. Of course, attaching this handpiece is very easy. You take your Ultraman Rising figure, whether you have the US release or the full release with Emmy, and you just pop the hand off, and you pop this hand on, which admittingly is a little bit harder with the Ultraman Rising figures, I find, because they're just so thin. There you go. Simple and easy. Just gotta have a steady hand and be patient, and it looks awesome on your Ultraman Rising. So, looking at the sculpt and paint of Mecha Gigantron here, I am very, very impressed. Now, one thing you guys are gonna notice is she's very long, or wide. Her wingspan is huge. And once we get into the articulation, you know, you can kind of collapse her a little bit, but not that much. So I'm going to try to keep her on screen, most of her on screen as best as I can, but this thing is just detailed as hell. Look at these wings. I love the little textured lines, and these are textured, by the way. These have textures. These are molded into the wing, and then they're painted, or at least this top one. It looks like they are, oh, you can kind of feel the texture. Maybe that might just be the paint, but it is very cool. We have these little yellow lines right here on each of the wings. The whole body itself has some yellow, red paint. The head, the red eyes. Ooh. She is just epic. She's got that wing texture pattern all over on all the pieces. Yeah, these are all textured. Dude, that is so cool. You have to be a little careful with the wings. They do pop off the back. Do not have the texture lines, but as you can see on the box, that is accurate to the movie, or at least accurate to that piece of art. That doesn't look like it's a still from the movie. That does look like it's some sort of concept art. The tail here, she is super long, and this tail is huge by all standards. The tail itself isn't huge, but this frill end is just massive. Super, super cool. Awesome. Just got an awesome, it's a really, it's a very laid back sculpt because the design is admittingly very simple. There's her forearm guards, but it's very accurate to that material. Thus, it looks epic. It also helps that she is large and imposing, and wide, so she just looks epic. She's got this nice gunmetal color to her. She looks, I've had her on the shelf for a little bit, not too much, because obviously she's kind of hard to take off of the shelf, especially with my display. So, but she looked awesome next to everything here. I can't wait to show you guys what she looks like next to Rising and Emmy and other kaiju. She's just epic looking, okay? Simple, but yet that's the whole point of the design, is that it's simple, and it just works with this figure. She's just big, massive, hulking kaiju. It's just looking for a baby, man. Just looking for a baby. So my final thoughts on this figure is I'm wildly impressed. I'm worth every single penny. She was worth the shipping cost. She was worth the higher retail. She is worth it. She has articulation up the wazoo, although some of it is limited. You don't really feel it. She's one of the figures that, although there's some movement that I would like, I actually didn't mind while posing it because it was so much fun to pose. The claws, the hands alone having joints and ball joints and swivels and hinges alone makes this figure so much fun. The wide opening mouth, just amazing. The posability, she's a little top heavy, but you can get her balance so she can almost lean over and crawl on the ground, except the wrist range and the finger range limits that, you can make it look like she's walking. And it looks phenomenal. I'll show that photo over here over this voiceover. It makes me sad to see that this figure maybe has been slept on, seeing as I'm one of the first reviews out there. I'm not the first, and I'm very thankful for the first review. She posting that was wonderful. Thanks to that reviewer. This thing is just, it's not perfect, but it is as close to as perfect as imperfect can get you, I feel like, on a Figuarts. I 100% understand she's expensive, and in the climate and market right now, it's a little dangerous because it's going to be harder to get these more expensive items. But I promise you, if there is one release you don't want to miss out on this year, it's this. I would skip some of the Ultraman reissues, especially if you have some of the older ones. Miss out on some of the new gen ones and get this figure. If you have King of Mons, she is $20, $30, $40 more than King of Mons, and she has more articulation, more range with her articulation, more accessories, and she is just as large and just as imposing. In fact, I would say she's even more imposing. And you guys know I love King. Well, you guys actually don't know it yet. You guys will see that review after this one in a few days. I love King of Mons, and I think I like this even more. She's amazing. You can get her right now, I think, hopefully, as at the time of recording this video on the 26th of April at like 2 in the morning my time. She's still in stock at Ninden Games for like $180 before shipping. Get her if you can. Throw on a paying for, as long as you can afford it. Don't go in debt, like too far in debt for her, but get her. She's amazing. She gets my seal of approval. I'm 100% impressed, and I recommend her. I recommend her, I recommend her, I recommend her. She's amazing. Even if you're not a Rising fan, get her for your shelf. She is going to look amazing next to all the other kaiju and all the other ultras. Anyway, this was Kaiju May Addict, signing off. Thank you guys for watching. Give her some more love, and I'll see you in the next one.